College dating apps have become a meme. Swipe left, swipe right, super like, ghost, repeat. But what if someone finally cracked the code, made it real, raw, and authentic? Today, I'm speaking with Evan Rama, the mind behind Cupid, a dating app that's rewriting the rules of how college students and Gen Zers connect. He didn't just build an app, he built a movement, a bold take on love, tech, and startup hustle straight out of UT Austin's premier business school, McCombs. In this episode of The Inside Scoop, we dive into the story behind Cupid, Evan's entrepreneurial grind, the future of Gen Z relationships, and how he's balancing startup life with student life. If you ever thought about building something crazy in college or just want the inside scoop on what makes a bold idea click, this one's for you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Okay, so first of all, thank you, Evan, for giving me a high schooler a shot to interview you, and it's quite impressive what you've done with Cupid, with almost 15 million views so far and 800K reshares, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So for my viewers, can you just describe what Cupid is and like what your business is practically?
For sure. Yeah. So Cupid Dating, it's the first ever live college blind dating show, and we just incorporated AI into our platform as well. We have an AI app coming out,
Hmm,
AI dating app.
hmm,
And essentially what we do, we travel across the nation to different lecture halls in different universities, and we put on a dating show casting different students from those universities. And with the app, it's a live interactive featured app as well as a dating featured app. So during the show, students have to download the app. They can vote contestants off. They can also swipe right or left on
hmm.
contestants during the show, etc. And then it has its standard dating feature.
That's really impressive. And I want to ask you, like, Cupid is all about live college dating. What sparked this idea in you? Like, was there a moment that made you go, like, this needs to exist, like, this needs to happen? Because I love this show. Like, I've been watching, like, whenever I go on TikTok or Instagram, I just keep scrolling on. I see the Cupid reels, and there's like sometimes I just start laughing. Like, one of my favorite moments was when you got Ace got you and Guggen Sing. Those like some of my favorite moments I saw in the show, and I just loved like the roasting and all like the interactions between the girls and the boys. So I just want to ask, like, what made you like start this business in the first place?
For sure. No, I appreciate that. I'm a sophomore or rising junior at UT Austin. My freshman year of college, I came to the university. I knew nobody, had no friends. And first week of school, I had a random roommate assigned to me. He was out, and I just sat in my room, put my AirPods in, and started brainstorming different student org ideas I could build out because I wanted to enhance my resume, um, go into the corporate world, try to enhance it in that way.
Hmm.
So started brainstorming, came up with a few ideas. I had a business org that I wrote down, started building that out, ended up flopping a week later. And, I started thinking to myself, why build something I'm not passionate about? I have a background of theater in theater for 6 years. So let me tie that into something, um, tie that into business.
Hmm.
So I ended up brainstorming different entertainment org ideas, came up with a game show, a dating show, etc. Slept on it, landed on dating show, and just kept pushing it out ever since.
Hmm.
We launched an insane marketing strategy, a marketing campaign with the Jester campus celebrity at UT
Yeah.
Austin, and that really pushed us out.
Hmm.
And now, I mean, every show, even minimal marketing, sells out. So
Hmm. Yeah, so I want to talk about I like the idea first of all that you formed Cupid out of like a failed business. Like you first failed in one of your first early businesses, then Cupid came out of it. I find that like kind of inspiring because like many entrepreneurs, like if you look at Steve Jobs, if you look at like Elon Musk, for example, they failed early on and they started like and then they started reaching their new ideas. So like, do you think is it important for every entrepreneur early on to see to like get some sort of failure or at least face some hardship before they get their first taste of success?
yeah, I mean, I even in high school, I've always been like the entrepreneurial type, and I had three startups that I tried building out, all
Mm,
failed within a year. College, same thing. First week flopped. Even before that, dozens of ideas I tried building
mm,
out. kept flopping. So in the ideation stage, I guess like you can fail as much as possible. And I do think founders um, need to experience failure at least one time, even more. I've failed thousands of times in my lifetime, and I feel like that's shaped what Cupid it is today.
That's like, I find that really inspiring. And I want to ask a bit more about your business now.
For sure.
So with giants like Tinder and Bumble, like what makes Cupid, like for you and for like your viewers and your audience, more unique? Like why do you think students are connecting with it so much? Like do you think it's with your marketing? Do you think it's with your, with just like your good guests, like Gagan Singh, for example? Do you think like that's like making you stand out and just like having a more like a fun version of Tinder or Bumble?
Yeah, so I'm going to use this example. So do you know who Eric Zhu is?
Yeah, I know Eric Zhu. I must have been following his story as well.
Yeah, so his story is incredible. He started his company, took investor calls on a toilet in his high school
Yeah,
bathroom, right?
yeah.
So I feel like the story is so important when blowing up a business. And our story, I ran 70 miles on foot, door dashing, delivering food to people just to raise enough money. And then after that, the whole business plan of what we do compared to Bumble and Tinder, we host dating shows in lecture halls. It's unusual. It doesn't make sense at all.
Mm,
I feel like that's what really ties in students into our business.
mm,
And then on top of that, we kind of replicated Bumble's marketing strategy in a way. They did pop-up events, they did dating show, or I don't know if they did dating shows, but they did events to market their application. We started as just a live show platform. We were gonna, I guess, mimic how updating, it's one of our competitors in a way.
mm,
We were gonna mimic how they built their platform out, just live shows.
mm,
Then I met my co-founders,
mm,
and then we wanted to integrate the AI, the
mm,
application into it. So I feel in comparison to Tinder and Bumble, what makes us stand out and what makes
mm,
students like connect to us is the fact that we host dating shows in a unusual setting.
mm. Okay, and a bit personal question. What was your most favorite show you think you've done so far in like in all of your shows? Like you've done with at Texas A&M, at UT Austin. I'm pretty sure you've done some in India and some probably in Australia if I'm not wrong. So what would you say is like your most favorite show of all time, like so far at least?
Yeah, so I've done 9 shows. I've done, I think, 6 at UT, 5 at UT Austin. I might be wrong
Mm,
on that, but favorite show, I would probably say my third one. It was September 6th of 2024. And from a virality standpoint, like the clips we got out of that show were the best quality,
mm,
the most viral, and then it was just the most fun to
mm,
contestants were well casted.
mm,
The answers were well
mm,
presented. Everything was great, and it was
mm,
it was the first time a new class got to see our product. It was a brand new freshman class.
mm,
2 weeks into college, they got to see our product and they loved it. So that was
mm,
probably my favorite show.
mm. That's good. So like you also have your own favorites, and I want to talk a bit about now your journey. So you're a McCombs student, and how's your time at UT shaped your thinking as a founder? Because in UT and especially at the McCombs School of Business, they want you to think in ways that could change the world. That's literally UT slogan.
Right.
What starts here changes the world. So how do you think being a McCombs student helped you be the founder you are today and the business owner you are today?
Yeah. So I wouldn't particularly say McCombs shaped how I see the business world. I would more say, the University of Texas as a whole did.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is the students, this is the most important part in business. It's who you surround yourself with. And
mm,
like I said, I came to the school with no friends, knowing nobody, even orientation. I didn't really put myself out there. I didn't meet anyone. So those first few weeks are so important in meeting whoever you can. And I feel UT gave me that ability to meet people, I never knew existed. Even from a cultural standpoint, my high school had no brown people, no Indians, right? And I got to meet more people that I guess that could connect well with me,
mm,
connect closer to me. So
mm.
UT allowed me to meet these type of people. I wouldn't say McCombs as a school. While McCombs, I mean, it's a great program. I haven't really gone too much out of the program in terms of helping Cupid out.
Mm. Okay, and now a bit more on Cupid. What do you think was your most toughest lesson you've learned? Like when you were built, when it was like in the first ideation stage or like the startup stage. How and like what was the most toughest phase you felt through, or like what was the toughest like impact you felt? And how did it like change the way you think today when you think about advancing your business? You think of adding like the AI integration. Like, how does like that big hit that you took early on like shape yourself today?
Yeah, I mean, even the ideation stage. So I launched officially. Cupid launched officially January 26th of 2024,
Mm,
and right before that, I had an encounter. It wasn't the best, but I would say, be careful who you talk to, especially about business. Be careful who you make your partners. Don't get partners onboarded too fast. Make sure you trust whoever is going to be incorporated into your business. I had an encounter, unfortunately, where I was signing in a co-founder, and he wasn't. He was a little awkward, a little weird in terms of like the financial, like from a financial standpoint. So just be careful who you trust, be careful who you bring on board. And now, I mean, Cupid today, I have two
mm,
great partners, my CTO Om Patel and my CBO Param Patel, both successful, crazy entrepreneurs.
mm,
Um, and going around this time, I was careful with these guys, not because of the people they're great people, but just from past experiences, making
mm,
sure I, got to know them on
mm,
a personal level. Took 2 months, really
mm,
connected well with them, and now,
mm,
I mean, now we're all thriving. Now we're great friends.
mm. Yeah, I think I was kind of relate this to the Mark Zuckerberg story. Have you watched the movie The Social Network?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so yeah, like you can see that like there was a lawsuit between the Winklevoss twins and Zuckerberg in that place. So I kind of also feel like that for any new entrepreneurs, they should always be careful with their network because even though like Mark really didn't steal their
definitely.
idea, yeah, but then it kind of flew like hit him back in the face when they sued him with the lawsuit. So that's definitely a good
1000%.
lesson I learned that be careful with your network and yeah, practically don't get hit by a lawsuit. That's also what I learned from that movie.
Yes,
Yeah. All right. And what was the most exciting part of being a student entrepreneur?
man. I mean,
Mm,
every day waking up is fun. It's a new
mm,
story. Especially with the industry I'm in. It's not. I guess we kind of are going into AI now, but before, every day I would wake up, I would get a new email, a new text message, a new opportunity. And I mean, as a student, like I said again, I mean, I had nothing my first week of college, no
mm,
opportunities, no
mm,
friends, no network, nothing. So I had to build all of that up.
mm,
And now every time I wake up, I look forward to, even checking views. I get a new message. I get to meet new people every single day, jump on new calls like this, and just meet a wide spectrum of insane people.
mm.
So I would say that's the best part.
That's really nice. And now I want to think a bit in the future right now. So, what do you think is next for Cupid? Can you give us a little hint, or can you like are you going to keep it confidential and just make it more mysterious and more exciting?
No, no, I can for sure say
Mm,
something. So this summer, so no one knows this yet, but we are pursuing raising or
mm,
fundraising for Cupid. We're trying to um, get a VC or an angel on board,
mm,
and we're raising for $1 million at 10%.
mm,
And our whole goal is to close that in the next month or two.
mm,
By then, my whole team and a few other company friends or friends that own other companies, we're all going to come together,
mm,
go to San Francisco, and build out a creator
mm,
house for the summer,
mm,
milk out content, keep building out our companies,
mm,
and then see where it goes from there. In terms
mm,
of Cupid alone for the next 2 or I guess a year, we
mm,
have a 33 university tour.
mm,
We're going global.
mm,
Three international locations, one pending, and we're
mm,
going to build that out. App launches August 1st of 2025 this year, so
mm,
we're excited about that. But we're
mm,
we're, we're just looking to scale,
mm,
keep scaling, see what happens in the next 2 years. We're trying to take
mm,
over, while we're taking over the dating space, we're also trying to be that next bar stool,
mm.
since they're on the decline now.
Yeah, I feel like Barstool right now is not connecting with the generation right now. Because
Right.
whenever I see Barstool, they're feeling like a bit more cringy and like doesn't
Exactly.
seem like something like my generation, like especially high schoolers or Gen Zers. We don't find that very entertaining anymore. But if you look at Cupid or if you look at like any other live dating shows or anything like more authentic, I think that what my entire generation likes the most. And if you go to any high school here in Texas or any school, they're definitely gonna say like authenticity matters more than like milking out content like just like put
For
put
sure.
it out there, like content, like more authentic content just makes a difference. And I feel like Cupid like really capitalized on
Exactly.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean Barstool clips
Yeah.
their content, right? They just steal
Yeah.
content from other pages.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes they're like also super cringy and like they're like and they're also like I really don't connect with them anymore. Like back like if I was like a bit older, probably I could probably connect it with, but with
Yeah,
the younger generation, probably not as much.
for sure.
Like you Cupid definitely hits like Cupid definitely like works well with high schoolers, college students, even like people in their early 20s. They definitely understand the dating scene, the authenticity, and the fights. Like it just seems too fun.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And where do you see college dating heading in the future, like in the next few years? Like, and how does Cupid like want to be in that future? Like, do you want to like make yourself into a total dating app? Do you want to make yourself like the next Bumble or the next Tinder? Is that what you're trying to aim for?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the future of dating, it's scary in my eyes. I've worked with a few AI dating companies, and I mean, a lot of them have the same idea,
Mm,
and essentially, it is you call on your phone an AI bot.
mm,
He talks to you for a little bit.
mm,
He gets to know you, get your personality, and then on the other end, a girl who calls the same phone number,
mm,
trains the AI bot, tells them everything about their personality as
mm,
well and what they like in a guy,
mm,
and then the AI match makes you based in your city. So
mm,
I feel like less profiles, more blind dating is
mm,
coming in the future,
mm,
um, and obviously match group,
mm, mm,
they're going to keep expanding.
mm, yeah,
Uh, they purchase every dating app that comes out in within a
mm,
year. So
mm,
they're doing some great things. And then in terms of Cupid, our goal is a 3-year exit unless we see room to scale. We want to, I guess, a lot of dating now, it's less meet in person and more on the phone. And
mm,
while we do have a dating app, our shows do connect people, and you can
mm,
actually match make with people at the shows
mm,
through our app. So
mm,
we want more real connection rather than
mm,
swipe right, swipe
mm,
left all the time, scrolling on
mm.
your phone.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely see that with Cupid because, like, I feel like if you're just swiping right and left, you're not making any connection unless you meet them face to face. And with Cupid, you're actually
Exactly.
like face to face, and it's also blind, so it's like totally like based on your personality, the way you speak, the way you present yourself. So I think that makes more of a difference and more than appearances, like the apps like Bumble or Tinder do right now, which is like perfect for for our generation, especially as Gen Zers.
Sorry, do you mind repeat? I think it just
Yeah.
lagged out. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I was just saying like how Cupid definitely capitalizes on that, like saying that that they're like now the next authentic matchmakers instead of like now Tinder and Bumble where you're just swiping left and right and very can make actual connections instead. And I want to talk a
Yeah,
bit more about like
100%. 100%.
yeah. Yeah, I want to talk a bit more about the college dating scene and like well, how do you think Cupid can help solve it, or how do you think Cupid can help make it less more toxic? Because I've seen some horror stories come out of colleges, like some really horrendous like stories that comes out of college dating scenes. And how do you think Cupid can like facilitate that to make it a bit more easier on people, or what do you expect out of Cupid to help the college dating scene?
Can you hear me still?
Yeah,
You can still hear me?
yeah,
Our platform, at least our live shows, it's meant to entertain guests,
mm,
right? At the same time, match make students. And in the past, the students that do win our show, we
mm,
pay for their dates.
mm,
Um,
mm,
and throughout the whole show, you get to ask questions. It's all in person rather than on the. There are apps out there that do exactly what we do, but all incorporated in the app. You get to know the guy's true personality,
mm,
and I feel personality should be weighted way more than what it
mm,
is to most guys and girls.
mm,
Um, and nowadays, I mean, you know this, and we see so many stories where, I guess, less attractive guys approach girls or are scared to approach girls, but shoot their shot anyways, and then it
mm,
turns into assault stories. Sometimes I've read stories on that, or it could be misleading into a different into what actually happened. So
mm,
our shows are authentic,
mm,
and they, it's it's a comedy show as well, so it gets
mm,
everyone laughing, everyone connected well. Um, and we
mm,
encourage the date by paying for it. And we've
mm,
actually had contestants go on 3 or 4 dates, enjoy it. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but at least everyone's safe in
mm.
making, those genuine connections.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that Cupid definitely does the best at, keeping the contestants safe and also having fun at the same time, which very few dating apps do this day. Like Tinder, like you can see there was like the case app for Tinder, like where there's a guy who catfished like a lot of women
There we
and
go.
swindling them for their money. Yeah. And also like that, and then like the difference with Cupid is that you're actually seeing them in person and you're actually talking with them. So it makes it a bit more safer and a bit more authentic, which I feel like is really important for my generation, especially where we take authenticity and like mainly like ourselves at the forefront, which Cupid definitely capitalizes completely on. Okay, and
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, and here's a question like I want to give out to you. All right, you can answer it in any way possible. All right, look at the next wave of student entrepreneurs. What advice would you give to someone who just started? Like for example, someone who just like started a business like 2 days ago. What advice would you give them so that they can so that you can provide your advice to them and then they can also succeed and not make the mistakes you did.
Yeah, I mean, I would say step one for the first month, be by yourself. Grind out your idea. Ideation stage is going to take 2 weeks. Could take less, could take more, but mine took about a week.
Mm,
Just plan it out. Make sure it's as solid as possible. Doesn't have
mm,
to be perfect. Um, and then go, if let's say it's a AI product or something in
mm,
tech, and if you have a technical background, go ahead and build it out. Build out a demo product, and then right after you have that demo product, if it is tech,
mm,
um, go and start pitching it to people. See if you can find that right co-founder. I think the
mm,
co-founders are the most important part. Without my co-founders, I wouldn't have any of this. So work on yourself. Step one for the first month. Step two, make sure
mm,
you look for
mm,
those co-founders. I think I read somewhere Y Combinator or
mm,
Forbes, but they were saying companies with
mm,
3 co-founders
mm,
have like a 20% increase
mm,
success rate. I might be wrong in the percent, but it was something like that. That's how important it is to find the right people.
mm. And more of a question on the business aspect. How do you raise your like your first capital? Like like you said you did door dashing, which I wrote down. Like you did some door dashing to raise the first startup capital. What other ways do you find out? Like did you group with a bunch of other people you met at UT, or do you like just sort of pitch your idea out to a bunch of VCs?
Yeah, I mean, for the first year and a half, I was just funding it out of my own pocket. And then recently, 4 months ago, I took a loan from two people, $9,500,
Mm,
or sorry, $10,500,
mm,
and now we're pitching. We're at the stage where we know our product's needed, it's wanted by
mm,
people. So we started pitching to VCs and
mm,
different angel investors and just people in our network.
mm. Yeah, I feel like the most problem that businesses face is having the startup capital or like the seed capital that they need
Yeah.
in order to start. Because if you don't have money, you're not going to survive in this game, especially in the tech scene out in Austin and the dating scene here in Austin. It's definitely the most important. And talking about Austin, how do you think that this city or like your environment shaped you to make Cupid the thing it is today?
I mean, I 1000% UT Austin, greatest school ever.
Hookem.
And without it, I wouldn't.
Mm,
Yeah, hook
yeah,
them right there.
yeah.
I wouldn't be here without the school. I mean, it's given me every resource
Mm,
I could possibly ask for in terms of being
mm,
an entrepreneur.
mm,
And I mean, Austin, it's future tech capital of
mm,
of the nation.
mm,
So you get to meet a lot of new people, even just walking around campus. I've
mm,
run into people where you just think they're the average Joe, and then they start getting into their stories, and it's crazy. And I've
mm,
actually gotten sponsorship deals just from talking to people on the street. So
mm.
Austin, UT Austin specifically, changed my life.
Yeah. So you think that location really matters for entrepreneurs who are just starting out?
I mean, everyone's gonna say Stanford, UCLA, USC. The California schools are peaking.
Mm,
It is. I mean, that's where even raising money is the
yeah.
easiest.
Mm,
And I have friends out there that are raising capital, and they said obviously it's not easy, but it's much easier to meet the right people down there.
mm,
Um, I just think everyone should aim for a relatively big university,
Mm,
um, 30,000 students
mm,
plus, just because,
mm,
the more people,
mm,
better chance of meeting insanely
mm.
cracked people.
Yeah, exactly. Like Stanford, like they produce, I think they produce the most amount of billionaires I think the United States has seen, or the
Yeah,
most business-minded people. That's why they look for it. Like whenever they're in their admissions process, they look for students who can like take their learnings from Stanford and like excel on it. So that makes sense. Definitely, location
definitely.
definitely depends. If you're like in the UC area or like the California schools, definitely they want to look for students who can excel. And then UT is starting to come out of there. Like you can see, like UT's rankings have like shot up like recent, like number 6 of the world, number 6 in the United States, right? Business school wise. So definitely, I would see that UT is like coming up now.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
think number six.
yeah. So yeah, definitely UT is coming up on
Yeah.
there. Okay, and now on your branding, dating apps are more about the emotional connection, like we just talked about. And how do you think your brand voice and tone help? Like, what was your branding technique when you were building Cupid? Were you like focusing more on like the guest appearances, or were you focusing more on the contestants? Like, I've seen some of the edits of the contestants. It just cracks me up sometimes. Do you think that kind of sets you apart, makes it more engaging?
Yeah, I think the contestants are. I just started doing this semester. I started doing a contestant reveal videos.
Mm,
Each one goes viral, at least like 80K views plus.
yeah.
Um, we've had some do like 200, 300K. So
Mm,
I think the contestants, those introductions help a lot,
mm,
and we always aim for funny content. If
mm,
of this,
mm,
if I learn content, I
mm,
know it's going to do well, and every time I have do well.
mm,
So we try to base our branding off of the contestants we pick.
mm. And do you notice any type of behavior among the contestants that kind of surprised you, or like something that's common between them?
Yeah, I mean, most of them so we have an application link, and
Mm,
they apply. They're very charismatic, want to join the show very badly. They even DM me
mm,
asking if they could 100% be in the show. And
mm,
then a week before the show, I don't know, for any reason, we always have dropouts.
mm,
At least half the cast drops.
mm,
Um, and I mean that's been reoccurring all this time. Even our Rutgers show, we had 11 contestants. We had 9 drop out the day
mm,
of.
mm. Yeah, I think that's a problem with like most of our generation, that our punctuality is like something
Contestants
that
going into the show,
just
so
not.
we were going.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, people are scared to be on the internet and be clipped,
Mm,
which I mean makes sense because I do clip,
mm,
but they're well aware of that, you know.
mm. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean it's privacy issues, and on like
Yeah.
privacy right now, how do you balance user privacy and safety while creating something fun and spontaneous? Like, how do you protect like some people's privacy? Like, for example, if there's a contestant who doesn't feel like they want to show their face out there, how do you like balance that while also kind of gain some content out of it?
Yeah, I mean, are you saying in like terms of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
after the show if they ask not to be uploaded?
Yeah, and like, but you find those clips like really interesting and like something that could really help. How do you
I
handle that?
guess, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the milking it, but they told me many times. Hello,
I got you. I got you.
you can hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I heard. I got all of that. It was just a little bit of lag. I got it.
I've had my most viral video, the girl in that video,
Hmm,
I clipped them 4 times and she wanted them down. And at a point, in the
hmm,
past, I would, if someone DM me and they were in the video and they told me to take it down, I would take it down.
hmm,
Now I'm at a point where, I asked for your permission. You filled out my consent forms.
hmm,
We've asked you multiple times if you're okay being on camera.
hmm,
And then after it's out, if
hmm.
you tell me you don't want to be in it, I mean, it's too late at that point. And I kind of
Yeah.
just, you
Hmm,
know, I used to feel bad.
hmm.
Now it's a different viewpoint.
Yeah, exactly. Like they fill out the form. They know what they got themselves into. So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. now bit on your mindset. So entrepreneurship is always glamorized. Like you can see in the movies, like you can see like Mark Zuckerberg, like always like if you see Mark Zuckerberg, you can see like he's living his life. It's super glamorized, but like we could see like but we could see his past. It wasn't fun. So what do you think your toughest days most of the time look like? Is it like long hour days where you have to work on school and also work on the business?
Yeah, I mean, I had a 14-hour. I know 14 hours isn't too bad. It's kind of like the standard for UT
Mm,
Austin, but a lot of the work I was doing was more in person,
mm,
hustling in person rather than,
mm,
I could sit at my computer and do it.
mm,
Hardest time when building Cupid was those first few months.
mm,
I was door dashing
mm.
on foot, right? I didn't have a
On
scooter or
foot,
anything. On foot, I was running
yeah,
running
especially in
deliveries in Austin.
Austin, the heat, especially, it must suck.
It's tough, and then on top of that, I mean, I sometimes I would deliver between classes, and then if I'm
Mm,
3 miles out, I have to run right to class.
mm,
And then I would also do the gesture marketing. So a lot of in-person stuff.
mm,
Heat was crazy. I mean, it was those
mm.
first few months were tough.
Can you go a bit in depth of your gesture marketing? I kind of understand, but I want to learn a bit more about the gesture.
Yeah. So second week of college came up. I was thinking to myself, everyone does the same thing. They do little tables on our
Mm,
main street called Speedway,
mm,
um, and that's how they promote their little orgs, right?
mm,
We Our org was this. We had nothing. It was
mm,
more little than any of these other orgs competing.
mm,
So I wanted a different approach, and that's why I ordered a jester costume. It matches our dorm, our dorm, the dormitory name, which is the Jester Dorms.
mm,
And then I started. I didn't talk in the costume, didn't do anything. Just ran around campus, ran into lecture halls, ran into dining halls, and I had a QR code in my hand and just started promoting it.
mm.
And I mean, we got blasted everywhere. We got documentaries made, newspapers were written about us, and we were in every Snapchat story.
I think that's the most creative thing I've probably heard. Like I've heard like different sorts of marketing. Like I've seen like people do like email marketing and like phone marketing, but gesture that just seems so unique. Like
It,
I mean,
it was fun too. It was
yeah,
fun. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. Like it just boggles my mind. Like if I was a student sitting in class and I just see a random student just run in a jester costume, just like yeah, it's just like kind of like and I'm two ways. I'm like curious and confused. Like, but I definitely see like how it grew the business like insanely because you're giving
Yeah,
them the shock element, you're giving them the excitement. So I definitely see the vision there. I definitely saw it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And we did that for 4 months.
4 months.
No shows, nothing.
Mm,
4 straight months of marketing, essentially like an idea. We weren't even approved at that point. I might have been doing all of that for no reason too,
mm,
if we got denied. So it was a big risk, but 4 months of marketing, we sold out the first one, and I mean now we're inside everyone's phones.
mm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk a bit about my personal experience and like what I've seen in high schools with especially with dating and Cupid. Like I have like a bunch of my friends, like some rising seniors who are about to go to who are committed to UT. They're very excited to be part of Cupid. I think I've like a few of my seniors who committed to UT. They're saying that I asked them, "What's your first thing you do at UT?" They're gonna say, "I'm gonna sign up for Cupid." Like you're like become the household name at most of Texas, at least in Austin or your high schools. Like a few of my friends like from like New York, they haven't found out about you guys because I think you
That's
explore that
awesome.
area. Like Cupid
Yeah.
is like now like known across college campuses for being like the source for dating. And are you expanding your audience? Like you said before, like what I've seen now is mostly it's like towards the brown or Asian community, South Asian community. Are you planning to expand Cupid for like everyone? Because right now I see you capitalize more on the brown market or the Asian market. So are you trying to make Cupid a bit more inclusive for everyone?
Yeah, I really don't have an answer. I mean, we're kind of testing around different content ideas and seeing if it's too late to expand or not. The brown audience, the Asian audience is just very, for some reason, I mean, every video goes viral.
Mm,
Um, I guess everyone's very tight together. Our
mm,
community is so
mm,
it's very cool to make content, very easy to make
yeah.
content. And
Mm,
I mean, if we do keep it an all Asian brown show,
mm,
then our new channel called the Yak Shack with Natalie Tran is going to be an
mm.
everyone show.
Yeah, I believe that in the Asian market, especially the Indian market or the South Asian market, is like one of the biggest and most diverse markets. And Cupid definitely capitalizes on that spot. And it's paying off. We can see 15 million views, 800K shares, and then known across every high school probably and college. I think that itself is like a big achievement. So hats off to you, bro. I respect this hustle.
No, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
All right. So thank you, Evan, for first of all for like giving me the opportunity to interview, and I also took a lot of notes from you and learned from you. And what advice would you give? And to end it off, what advice, like I said before, would you give to budding entrepreneurs who just started out to help them grow?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, but I would say just I mean, it's very cliche. Everyone says it, but
Mm,
just keep going.
keep going.
Honestly, I mean, if you
Mm,
if you genuinely if you wake up 7 straight days
mm,
and that idea
mm,
is the first thing that comes to mind every morning you wake
mm,
up, then you have to pursue that idea. I mean,
mm,
at least try, right?
mm. Yeah, I definitely feel like that. Most entrepreneurs, like, or at least budding business owners right now, they have the idea in their mind, but they're just not able to go past it because they're like always like stuck in something. Either they're stuck in the like the
Right.
phase like, what if this doesn't work out? What if like I don't have enough money like that? How do you
One
suggest for
thousand.
like entrepreneurs to get out of that phase and just like say go do it? What do you suggest them to do?
Yeah, I mean, for our route, we took a different route. Instead of building out the product and then marketing it,
Mm,
we marketed just an idea
mm,
to see if it would even be
mm,
something people wanted.
mm,
So I didn't have to build anything out, no product, nothing. Started
mm,
marketing, saw a lot of people were interested, and then I built it out. Um, that doesn't go for every product, but I would say, I
mm,
mean, for majority, especially student founders,
mm,
99%, or I think I read somewhere 0.05% of startups raise capital.
mm,
That's insanely small,
mm,
right? Which means, I mean, in the student market and student entrepreneurs, it's going to be
mm,
0.005, very,
mm,
very low.
mm.
Um, I mean, try that.
Just
That's
try.
that little percent could be it. That
Yeah.
little percent could be it. So just
Mm,
try first week. I mean, see if it even
mm,
if you have some glow to it,
mm,
and then if you need
mm,
to take the next steps or not, or go back to the
mm,
ideation stage.
mm. So you always suggest entrepreneurs to just go ahead and give it a try. If it doesn't work out, come back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong, and just keep going at it.
There you go.
So
There
just
you go.
never give up, practically.
I mean, I got shut down in high school. I had a advising business I was building out. I had 7 clients, and
Mm,
I was making pretty good money from it. I
mm,
got shut down for over marketing in the school. I wasn't allowed to, right?
mm.
And that
It's
was
kind of
my
like Eric
child. That
Xu's
was the
story that we
thing.
talked about. Like, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
It's like kind of like Eric's story we talked on earlier, like Eric Xu's story when he was taking calls in
Yeah.
the bathroom. Yeah, I kind of see that between you two. Like both of you guys were in high school, really ambitious, and you guys are making the money. I definitely see it. Like Eric's like raised almost like more than $1 million, and then you're about to raise about more than $1 million as well. So first of all, thank you so much, Evan, for giving me the chance once again to interview you. And I'm like so happy that you gave me a high schooler a chance to like go and do also be part and make my own business with this as well. Because this is kind of hard for me as myself as a high schooler to start a business. But learning from you, I feel like I could take this a bit further. So thank you very much.
For sure. And I appreciate you, man.